Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
It is the Cam Show. It's Rogue Media Sports Network. For the first time in 2025, the Cam Show coming to you live on YouTube. And it's going to be all Patriots today. I'm just going to warn you. I come to you from an undisclosed location in the coal belt of the great United States of America. Boy, I am deep seated in America right now. An America of a bygone era, but America nonetheless, to talk about America's team, the New England Patriots. I'm also battling through the flu or something, so bear with me on that as we get you through, because the Patriots are now, 3 days away from the season finale in what could be one of the most important season finales in team history. You know, it's for years, they were a team that had already won the division. They were resting their starters. Week 17, which used to be the last week of the season, didn't mean very much. Now, in week 18, it could mean everything. It could mean the future of their franchise, because as it stands right now, the Patriots hold the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Thank you, Giants, you morons. You had one job. And now the Patriots are one loss away from just holding all the cards, all of them. I am begging, pleading with you, New England Patriots. I will get on my knees if I have to. Do not win this game. I have never rooted for the Patriots to lose a game in my whole life. I will be rooting for it on Sunday. Do not win this game. Don't you dare win this game and fuck this up. You are such a bad organization that you need every option possible at this point. Any option needs to be on the table, any and every. You can really mess this up if you win this game. And I'm telling you, it's almost my nightmare scenario, right? The Bills have the playoff spot. They have the seed. They're probably going to rest starters this Sunday. Like, my worst fear is that they rest enough starters that the Patriots screw around and win this game. Now, if they win it, they drop to 2 or 3, right? I think maybe just 2. But when you are this bad at putting a team together, as the Patriots have been the last few years, and we don't know who the heck these people are that are in charge, you need as many options as humanly possible. And that would be having the number 1 pick. Because then you can draft anybody, but more importantly, you can trade that pick and stockpile some picks. And that's the mentality you got to have right now. Whether it's Travis Hunter, whether it's a tackle or a trade, you have had so much going against you the last few years. You've had such few things in your corner, so few chips to throw on the table. This is the time. Okay? Don't pull anything stupid. Don't try to win one for Mayo. Don't, give them a Gatorade bath after the game. Don't try to prove that you guys are better than what everybody says. You're not. And this game against the Bills' second team is not going to prove to anybody that you're better than a 4-win NFL team. Nobody's going to be, oh, well, maybe we were wrong about the Patriots. They didn't pick number 1 in the draft. They picked number 2. Don't do it. I've never wanted my team to lose a game more than this one. It's almost as if, obviously the Patriots and Elliott Wolf, they can mess up anything. I don't put anything past them. But if you have that number 1 pick, it's very tough to do. Because I want you to get the number 1 pick. And to be honest, I don't want you to even draft at number 1. You have gotten to a position where, for some reason, the Raiders and the Giants are winning football games, and they're going to go for a quarterback. And you need to be on the phone with those two teams from 4:30 Eastern time on Sunday until the beginning of the draft. Let them have at it. Who is going to give you the best package to move up? Or maybe someone wants Travis Hunter. That's not out of the realm. One of these teams that's not picking a quarterback, a team like Carolina, who's inexplicably won a few games. Maybe the Cowboys want to jump up and get him. They're going to get desperate, right? But do not win this game. Please don't win this game. Please. You have shown new ways to lose football games all season long. Don't try to reverse the narrative. Please, God, don't. Because if you're giving me a top 3 pick and say, hey, the Patriots need to pick somebody in the top 3, I'm going Travis Hunter just because I think he's the best player in the draft. It's not the best draft class ever. You're still trying to figure out. I mean, obviously he's a corner, but he's probably not the absolute best corner in the draft, and he's not the best receiver in the draft, but he's pretty damn close to both. So at least you get some versatility there, man. I just can't imagine the Patriots messing this up, but they've proven me wrong before. Because if you're picking 2 even, you don't really have the chips. Maybe there's a quarterback hungry team desperate enough, but honestly, I wouldn't mind the scenario where the Patriots trade back to 4th or 5th. And if they say, hey, we've got our tackle, whether it's Campbell or whether it's Banks, who got injured in that classic UT ASU game yesterday. Whether it's one of those guys and you just say, hey, that's our franchise left tackle. Brilliant. Draft him at 5. Don't draft him at 1. Nobody else is going to draft him at 1. You're betting against yourself. You're bidding against yourself. Don't do that. But hey, if there's a plan in place, and I mean, that is probably the biggest position of need, but as we've said multiple times every day on this show, outside of quarterback, there is not a position group on this team that needs massive improvement. Not one. And some talking heads out there think that you should also be trading your quarterback, which is ridiculous, but we'll get into that later on in the show. But I literally, I've like laid awake at night and in the morning trying to get back to sleep of like, are the Patriots going to just screw around and win this game? I don't even know who Buffalo's backup is. Is Trubisky still? I have no clue. But like, Allen's probably not going to play. None of their big dogs are going to play. They've got their spot. They're not going to get the number 1 seed. It's time to just lose. Guys, you've done it all season long. You've done it every which way. Just go ahead, do me a favor, do us all a favor, and lose this game on Sunday. Because then we will have the 3 months to decide what to do with this and maybe, just maybe, completely turn around this franchise. Because right now, it is maybe the worst franchise in football if you look at just the last couple of seasons. I know, Jacksonville's been at this a long time. The Raiders have been at this a long time. But you look at the last 3 seasons, it's the Patriots and the Giants, I think, are just head and shoulders above the rest in terms of how poorly this thing has been run. And by next year, we'll be saying the Jets again in that same window. But Sunday's game was just another story. It's just the story of the season for this team, right? They had a hell of a performance against Buffalo last Sunday. It was perfect. Drake May had a good game. They forced some turnovers. They played really well on the road, and they lost the game. That was perfect. But then, as we've seen all season long, this team takes a little bit of a good thing and then wipes their ass with it. And just turns it into like some of the worst performances of the season. And that's one of the biggest blowouts against the Chargers that the Patriots have faced in decades. Never in it. 40-7 on your home field, which doesn't mean much. You've won 2 home games in 2 seasons. That used to mean something. Not that Gillette was ever Arrowhead, but teams didn't go into Gillette and win. I remember that. I'm old enough to remember a time when the Patriots won almost all their home games. And to be quite fair, they won about 70 to 75% of their games anywhere it was played. But that game on Sunday, just atrocious. And Drake May does not have a great game. But again, how much can you blame the kid? And their only score of the game is a free play that Drake just chucks down the field, and Pop Douglas makes a nice play on the ball. Other than that, you were completely hapless yet again. And how many times have we seen that this year? You have a good performance and then just absolutely shit the bed. I think of, was it the Chicago game? You obviously get the win. You have a loss against the Rams the next week. You know, you just have this weird game plan and get absolutely torched by the Rams receivers. You don't cover Cooper Kupp. You don't cover Puka Nacua. You don't put your best corners on them. How about beating the Jets and then losing to the Jags in London next week? An awful Jags team. You look at the game they should have won against the Colts. They blew that game. They left it late. They gave up a couple fourth down plays, including a 2-point conversion. That was a good performance, and you got the loss. Then the next week, you got blown out by Miami. So it's been like, I'll take you back to the first part of the season. You actually got to win over Cincinnati. You play a great game against Seattle the next week. In fact, you kind of blew it. It was in overtime, and you blew it. And then after that, you get routed by the Jets. You know, so every time there's been a little bit of, hey, maybe this team isn't completely awful after all. They show you exactly why they're completely awful, and why they should have the number 1 pick in the draft, why they're the worst team in the league. And so, like, that's done. We abandoned that 5-6 weeks ago. If this is what you're going to be, do it till the very end. Do not toy with us. Don't try to be like, oh, we got one over Buffalo. Nobody gives a shit. Lose the game, have the number 1 pick, and have your choice at number 1 or number 4 or number 5. But if you don't have that number 1 pick, you're not holding the cards. So the difference between 1 and 2 is massive. If you have 2, you're picking at 2. If you have 1, you have all kinds of options. If you let one of those quarterback-hungry teams sneak in front of you, you're done. And hey, I mean, maybe you get it right. You know, maybe you do pick Travis Hunter at 2, or you pick the tackle at 2, which is a bit of a reach, but you hit on it. Or maybe at 2, there's another team that's kind of desperate for a quarterback that you didn't expect, and they go up and get the number 2 pick to leapfrog either Vegas or the Giants. But that's a maybe. That's a what-if game. If you have number 1, there's no what if. Man, you are holding all the cards in that scenario. So don't F this up. Don't win this game. Please. I know it was fun beating Buffalo all those years. It means nothing. It's not going to mean anything to anyone other than the Giants or the Raiders. I can't believe how much I want the Patriots to lose this game. And I am more and more every day kind of convinced it's time to fire the head coach as well. And it's not something I thought I was going to be doing in year 1, knowing it was a rebuild, but we all heard the comments. We all heard the reports. We heard the terminology. And we are now hearing who would potentially want to coach the Patriots. And honestly, it should be foolproof. But let's see. Also, we're hearing the worst take of all time on the Patriots draft. So I'm going to talk about head coach later on in the show, but we have to get to this just awful take by a guy who I really can't believe he's on TV still. I know we're in a new age, but I can't believe this guy's still on TV. That's coming up next on The Camp Show.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Ready Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to
Want to turn your passion into profit? With Blogify, creating a blog has never been easier. Build, customize, and grow your site with powerful tools designed for beginners and pros alike. Start sharing your story today and watch your audience grow with Blogify. Download Blogify now in the App Store. Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com.
Welcome to a special edition of the Doomsday Podcast. Look at this. We got one of the great golfers in the world, certainly one of the great pass rushers in NFL history.
But he also had a vision for you. And so it was like you had the best of both worlds, right? You had somebody on you early, and then you had somebody who was maybe
more relaxed. What were a couple of your biggest takeaways? The person you referred to that I spoke with, I've spoken to some personnel people and general managers in the league to get some, independent, objective assessments of the players the Cowboys picked, and we'll go through that. Has the general manager changed at all in the draft room?
Nope, it's been the same since I was here the last time.
Back on the Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network talked all about how the Patriots need to lose this game on Sunday. Like, please, God, lose this game. Because then you have all kinds of options with the number 1 pick. Even more than with the number 2 pick. Number 2, you still got some options, right? But as I've said all season long, the Patriots really don't need to be picking in like the top 4 because they're not going for a quarterback. And so, there's you just have so many more of the cards if you're picking number 1 overall. And the Patriots control their destiny. If they just do us all a favor and lose against the Bills this Sunday, it will all be right. And the Patriots will be picking number 1 in the draft, which likely means they'll be picking 3rd, but they will have traded back. In Boston, we know a thing or two about that. Ask the Celtics. Ask Danny Ainge how that can go for you. It's usually a good idea. But, the Patriots, they do need an upgrade at every position but quarterback, right? Every position. Well, at least that's what most of us think. Because Nick Wright went on whatever the hell the show is that nobody watches on Fox Sports 1 and gave... I genuinely think this is the worst take I've ever heard. Like, ever. It baffled me. I heard it and I had to check that it was real. I had to check that it was not AI. I just don't know where this is coming from. I know that these national guys, there's only so much you can keep up with in the NFL. And you're obviously following the Chiefs, specifically him, following the Chiefs and the Bills and the Lions, I guess to any degree, the Cowboys, more than you are the Patriots, who are the worst team in the league, or the Raiders, or the Giants, or the Panthers, or the Jags, right? But this just doesn't, there's not a bit of sense in this take. So without any further ado, here's what Nick Wright believes the Patriots should do with their top pick in the draft.
Here's the deal. Every option needs to be on the table with the number 1 pick. Every option. If they love a left tackle, even if the whole media is like, it's got to be Travis Hunter, you got to do it. Mm-hmm. If they love Travis Hunter, you got to do it. If they want to do what the Bears did 2 years ago and trade the pick for a bounty of stuff, if that's available to them, and it's not available every year, right? You got to do it. You got to do it. And you also have to deeply and thoroughly investigate or, figure out how much you like Shedeur Sanders and or Cam Ward. And if you feel like this year's QB1 that you can pick, you can decide who it is, you like more than last year's QB3, who you have, then you must shop Drake May. And if as an added bonus, because I know Wilds thinks Drake May is awesome, if the Titans agree with you, who have the number 2 pick, and the Titans are like, listen, we would take Shedeur, but if you guys take him, we like Drake May more than Cam Ward. As an added bonus, you have a chance to truly revamp the New England Patriots by going Shedeur Sanders 1, Travis Hunter 2, Deion Sanders head coach, and say you turned the worst college program around in 2 years. Have a shot at the worst pro program. That has to be something you investigate.
What the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, genuinely, what was that I just listened to? Are you kidding me? Is this guy getting paid in the millions each year to say that? So, the one position that the Patriots are actually good at right now is quarterback. And by the way, this is not just me, the Patriots homer, who really likes Drake May. This seems to be a consensus around the league that Drake May is a damn good quarterback. Opposing coaches, opposing players are saying, yeah, they've got this figured out. And everyone around the league is saying, yeah, I just feel for the kid. He's got nothing around him. But this kid's going to be a star. And Nick Wright wants them to take Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward over that. Or, more specifically, he wants them to get Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and Deion Sanders. What the actual fuck? Like, what are you talking about? And shame on those 2 cronies, the empty suits, Chris Broussard, whoever the fuck the other guy is, for not saying, are you insane? Like, do we need to get you into an institution right now? Chris Broussard is a man who said the man is retarded on national TV, and he won't say it about Nick Wright right there when it's most apt. What is he talking about? So let's back this up. Because, look, I get it. I get the way sports media is right now. I get that it's a take-driven business. I understand that that's what these things are. But I also understand why Stephen A. Smith is popular or Skip Bayless is popular. They're 2 guys I don't really listen to, but I get it. I get the appeal. Nick Wright isn't even entertaining, and he just literally shits in his own hand and throws it against the studio wall. What is he fucking talking about? He's like, and he goes on to say, I cut the clip because if you're exposed to too much of it, you might get cancer. But I cut the clip because afterwards he says, because for some reason Drake May is untouchable in New England. Yes, he's the franchise quarterback. You're not telling Washington to go and trade Jaden Daniels. You're not telling Chicago to go and trade Caleb Williams. So why would the Patriots trade Drake May? And he says, oh, well, maybe QB1 this year is better than QB3 last year. I got a newsflash for you. It's probably not. Because, again, the consensus around football is that this is not a good quarterback draft as it was last year, where you had 3 guys at the top of the draft who projected to be real legit NFL starters. Everyone on the planet knows this is not a good quarterback draft. And if this draft were 10, 15 years ago, you might have 1 quarterback taken in the first round. And Nick Wright wants you to trade your franchise quarterback so that you can just gamble on 3 guys. A quarterback who's never played in the pros, a cornerback who's never played in the pros, and a coach who has never coached in the pros and has had 1 decent season in college and has never beaten a ranked team. But this is the national media. This is ESPN. This is Fox Sports. They don't watch college football. They don't. And Colorado did have a good year. But they were not the worst program in college football. They were pretty bad. They were not the worst. And they did not turn around to become one of the best. They played in the Alamo Bowl. Nobody is saying, hey, go and get Dave Aranda from Baylor. They were 3-9 last year, and they played in just as good a bowl game this year, and had the same record as Colorado. Nobody is saying, hey, go get that guy. Because it's asinine. It's ridiculous. It makes literally no sense at all. And like, I do believe in the American education system. Like, I do believe that not a lot of people are buying into this. But the fact that this goes out over the airwaves is, like, not to sound too dramatic, it's such a fucking disgrace. Like, are you kidding me? Nick Wright, like, what is his appeal? What has Nick Wright ever done that's like made headlines to the end where he has two empty heads sitting beside him? One of which, by the way, after he's done with this, goes, yeah, I agree. The fuck you do, man? You need to get a lobotomy too. What are you talking about? That's going to solve the Patriots' issues. Getting Shedeur, trading the one good offensive player you have, just getting rid of him so that you can get Shedeur, Travis Hunter, and then Dion can coach him. Yeah, and Warren Sapp will come coach the defensive line. That's a great idea. Like, as bad as it is with the Patriots and how little confidence I have in the people running this organization, like, I know that even they would laugh at this. This is ridiculous. And he's being totally unironic. Like, he's being serious. How can I get that gig? Like, do I need to, like, try something out? Okay. All right. The Commanders should trade Jaden Daniels so that they can get Cam Ward and also get G.J. Kinney, who is his coach at Incarnate Word, who has turned Texas State around. You almost got Miami to the playoff, Cam Ward. You turned Texas State into a bowl team, G.J. Kinney. How about you go and turn around the Commanders, who couldn't get it done in the playoffs? Is that anything? Is this anything? That's essentially what Nick Wright just did to you. How is this allowed, man? Like, that's so insane. That is so insane. The poor guy. I mean, look, I know, Nick, I get it. I have the receding hairline. I have bad teeth. But you don't need to do this. You don't need to stoop to this. Because that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Like, just none. If you were speaking Russian in that segment, it would make more sense to me than what you actually just laid out there. I'm telling you, the guy dropped his pants, he took a shit into his hand, and he threw it against the wall to see if it would stick. And probably gets $1 million a year doing that. What a life. Great life if you can get it. Stick to following the Chiefs. You know, you did the national media thing that they did for years, try to denigrate the Patriots. And even though they were the greatest dynasty ever, you tried to find everything wrong with them. You'll never do it with the Chiefs because that's your team and that's fine. But, like, what the hell is this? How is this a show? And by the way, who the fuck is watching that show? I would be willing to bet that there are more unique viewers with the Cam show than there are with whatever that show is with Nick Wright. And trust me, you can look at the views on this video, all right? You can see that that's really put my balls out on the table. But, like, these people stay fat and happy because their show is on at dentist's office and Planet Fitnesses and student rec centers, and they get paid a couple $1 million a year for these guys to just be like, yeah, Nick Wright, that's a good point. Everyone in the league says Drake May is good, but you're right. They should trade him to the Titans so they can get Shedeur Sanders. What a fucking idiot, man. Oh, I honestly went back and forth, and even putting that in the show, it's like, it just does. It's so stupid. I can't, man. Everyone but Nick Wright is wrong. Everyone but Nick Wright is wrong. Everyone says Drake May is the franchise quarterback of the Patriots after a full season in the NFL, but everyone else is wrong. This is like that Principal Skinner meme. No, that's right. I'm right by saying they should get a fringe first-round quarterback most years and get a head coach from college who has never beaten a ranked opponent and has had 2 years at the Power 4 level. And those guys should be running an NFL franchise. No, everyone else is wrong. I'm right. I genuinely what a moron. How on earth does this guy have a job? Because of course, and like, I get this, but of course, he hasn't watched a Patriots game the whole year. Not one. No matter what he tells you, he'll be the guy who's like, oh, I watch full games at night. He doesn't. He does not. Nobody does that. You're not Kirk Herbstreit, who's enough of a blowhard anyway. You've not watched a Patriots game all year. So you see that they're 3-13, and you reasonably think, well, that team really, really sucks. So it must be that the quarterback's not good. And yet everyone around the league, like all you got to do is go on Twitter, go in any press conference of her team after they play the Patriots, and players and coaches and analysts will all tell you, man, this kid's good. This kid's good. They need to build some stuff around him. And Nick Wright's like, nah, they have the worst roster in like the history of football. His like primary target is Kayshon Boutte. So he's the problem. Go and get Shedeur Sanders. That's going to make it much better, by the way. Now you've got Shedeur Sanders throwing to Kayshon Boutte. Congrats, Nick Wright. You've really figured this out. Maybe Keyshawn Johnson can coach the wide receivers. That'll work. Fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot. Of all the people that should be coaching the Patriots, I think Deion Sanders and Nick Wright would be 2 of like 5 people on the planet that I would say, no, they shouldn't be coaching the Patriots. I'll tell you who should be coaching the Patriots. That's coming up next on The Cam Show.
Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass, water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today. Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at BestBuy.com and upgrade your tech today.
We've got all these transfer portal stats and what Deion did and what Fritz has done. I mean, that's the deal, man. That's the game that's being played nowadays.
Maybe a little bit unknown at quarterback. I mean, unknown to the rest of the world, but, you know, he dove into the portal and got a guy who is super, super athletic.
South Dakota State's really good. Give us a little bit of breakdown about what they can do and what Oklahoma State needs to be worried about.
Look at that form right there. I need to say nothing else about this because I found one.
Riding things out here on the Cam Show. First one of 2025. Welcome to 2025, which just makes me think it's been 10 years since I graduated high school. Oof. It only gets worse from here. Anyway, it's the Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stewart with Zach Burke running things. We got Pete Souza coming up at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. I mean, Pete will be talking all about these bowl games. I know Pete has been like touching himself the last couple of days watching these college football bowl games, which is, I mean, it's great. It's great. That UT Arizona State game was unbelievably good in Atlanta in the Peach Bowl. That was incredible. The whole world missed the first quarter of the Rose Bowl because that was such a good game. Rose Bowl, you didn't miss much. Sheesh. But the Texas Longhorns win. Oh, I hate that. Boy, do I hate that. And by the way, Kelvin Banks, one of the guys the Patriots will undoubtedly be looking at, it's either him or Will Campbell that's the top tackle in the draft. He's been coming up lame. He's been battling an ankle injury. Sat out a couple of snaps for that game. He's kind of getting worked late in the game against Arizona State. Something to look at to tie it back to the Patriots. That is something to keep in mind. Speaking of the Patriots, can I take you back like 2 weeks in Patriots history when the seat for Gerard Mayo was awfully hot, right? Like getting pretty hot. And I would say it's still hot. But then we keep getting the reports of his job is safe. I think Diana Rossini was the first one that had that like Kraft had privately assured Gerard Mayo that he was going to keep his job. And then there was a report that came out, I think it was before the Buffalo game, that said his job will be safe unless things go off the rails here. And I came on the show and I said, okay, what is off the rails for the Patriots? Because mind you, this is a team that used to win Super Bowls and go to the playoffs. They've been to the playoffs once in the last 5-6 seasons here. They are about to win 4 games or less for the second year in a row. And they're going to pick in the top 3 in the draft for the second year in a row. They have won 2 home games in the last 2 seasons. And they invited you out to Gillette Stadium on Sunday. They packed you in there on a shit weather day, and they just pulled their thing out and pissed all over you. Spit in your face for even daring to pay money to get to this game, to park for $50, to spend $10 on a beer. Shame on you. And just ransacked by the Chargers. This is a Patriots team that's coming off a good week against Buffalo. Christmas in between there. Chargers have to fly across the country. They don't want to be there. They do have to play for a playoff spot, but all of those things add up to, maybe you can get them. Maybe you could splinter them a little bit. Patriots had no shot in that game. They lose it 40-7. Okay. There's about, 10,000 people in the stands at the end of the game. They're booing the crap out of them. They're chanting "Fire Mayo." It's a 40-7 loss at home that runs your record to 3-13 and sole possession of the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And that ownership group has the balls to say, well, let's wait for things to go off the rail. What is the rail? The rail is at the bottom of the ocean. If the Patriots are not off the rail does not exist. This is a dog shit football team. And of the last couple of years, a dog shit NFL franchise. But we're going to wait for things to really get off the rail. Like, I asked this a couple weeks ago, and the more I think about it, the more it becomes real. I think the Patriots are going to have to go 0-17 for them to admit that things are not going well. They do not have an NFL roster. They have 2 good players on the team. They have a coach who has no clue what he's doing. Coordinators who have not held those positions before. They don't know what they're doing. They got a GM who doesn't know what he's doing. And apparently, somehow, after 30 years and going to 11 Super Bowls, the ownership doesn't know what they're doing. And yet, you, the Patriots fan, me, the Patriots fan, has to hear, well, let's wait for things to get bad. They're really bad. Trust me. If this isn't bad, I don't know what bad is. In fact, calling it bad is a compliment to the Patriots. They're awful. They're an awful organization from top to bottom. And they have a golden goose here with Drake May, who, thank God, Nick Wright is not running this team, so they're not going to trade him to get Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders, for what fucking reason that is. But that's I'm just going to get angry thinking about that. The point is, this is off the rails. It's way off the rails. And I know it's only year one, but do you really think Jerod Mayo is the guy that's going to get this back on the rails? Do you really think that? Now, we look at Patriots history under Kraft. He picked the right guy. The right guy was there when he came in, Bill Parcells. And he brought them to a Super Bowl out of being really terrible at the beginning of the 90s, the situation you're in right now, brings them to the Super Bowl, and then jets off, no pun intended, because there's always a rift between Parcells and Kraft. So Kraft does the nice guy routine. He goes and gets the nice guy, Pete Carroll. All the players are going to love him. And they progressively get worse every year, right? 10-6, 9-7, 8-8. And the players have said on those teams, we could feel it getting worse. And then he goes out and he gets the hard ass again. And after a 5-11 season, Bill Belichick wins the Super Bowl and makes them the greatest dynasty in the history of sports. And then there's a rift between Belichick and Kraft. So he goes out and he gets the nice guy, the safe choice, the one that the players will relate to. Remember when Jerod Mayo was a pretty good linebacker for us? How about he's the head coach? And we treat this head coaching position as an entry-level job. And the cycle repeats. It's time to go out there and get a hard ass that actually knows how to coach in the National Football League. And now we have had multiple reports in the last week and a half. Tom Curran, I believe, was the first one to have it. Multiple reports from reputable sources around the league that Mike Vrabel wants to coach the Patriots. His consultantship with Cleveland is up. He wants to coach the Patriots. He wants to be a head coach in the NFL again. And there will be teams that are interviewing Mike Vrabel. Chicago, the Giants, Jacksonville. Like these guys will be interviewing Mike Vrabel. And if the Patriots are not, that is a massive mistake. I mean, it lines up exactly how Kraft wants it. You don't even really have to go through a huge interview process. The guy wants to coach here. You didn't do the interviews last year. You didn't want to get up off your ass to actually find some candidates to interview last year. You had a guy that you liked that also fit the Rooney Rule, so you didn't need to interview anybody else. You took the year off. It's as bad as it's ever been on the field. So now you don't even need to do that. You could just go and say, hey, Mike, what's it going to cost? You want to come here? You want to come back, old pal? We've got that number 50 jersey for you. We can hang it up at the press conference. We can have your red Patriots Hall of Fame blazer. You want to come here and coach this? This dumpster fire? Sure. He should be on the next plane. Dante Scarnecchia should be coaching this game for the Patriots. Clean out everybody. Dante Hightower, Tyquan Underwood. These guys should be coaching the Patriots on Sunday against the Bills. And the next game should be coached by Mike Vrabel. I've said it time and again. There aren't a ton of guys who have been successful NFL coaches that are just out there looking for a job. And to go even further, there are less guys who have had success in the NFL that aren't total retreads, right? Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Retread. It's not working with Dallas. Mike Vrabel, not a retread, took a bad team, bad franchise to an AFC championship game, had a winning record, actually established an identity with that team. And they were a player in the AFC for a couple of years with Mike Vrabel as their coach. And by the way, beat the Patriots a couple of times, kicked the crap out of them in Tennessee with Belichick coaching on the other side, and ended Tom Brady's Patriots career. That was Mike Vrabel who was coaching those teams. And yet what are you going to point to that says, yeah, you know what? We should stick with Jerod. Is it the 3-14 record? Is it the worst offensive line in the history of football? Is it the worst wide receiver room in football? Is it the defense that can't stop the run, or is it the offense that can't run the football? Which one is it? What are you going to point to? Are you going to point to how they actually do have a good quarterback and none of the rest of the team has gotten better? Are you going to point to the fact that this team has absolutely no identity and that they're trying to be a running football team every week and they cannot do it? Or is that what you're going to point to? Are you going to point to the great coordinators he has on staff? Are you going to point to the confidence that he instills in the team? Are you going to point to how well he's handled the media this season? Because if you're pointing to any of that for Jerod Mayo, Mike Vrabel is your next coach. I can't tell you how many times I've said this about the Patriots this year in so many different situations. Cut the shit. Let's be a serious NFL franchise again. Because, look, you got to give the Crafts all the credit for going out there and trading for Bill Belichick. But for all the punditry for years and the fodder of, oh, is it Brady or is it Belichick? Never once did we ask, are the Crafts like a good ownership group when they don't have Bill Belichick in there? Because the answer is no right now. And you can change that. You can go out and make the right hire again and get Mike Vrabel. He wants to coach here. Like, that in and of itself, he's a good NFL coach who is not going to take any shit, and he wants this challenge. He wants to coach this team. You're not going to find anyone in the league that wants to coach this team. Like Drake May, that's a great thing to have, but any other coach, prospective coach, is going to look at the rest of this roster and say, actually, I'm good. I'll go coach Chicago instead. Any coach would say that. Any coach would take, there are teams out there that have the quarterback, or at least they think, and are much better situations, right? Chicago, Jacksonville, the Giants will have the quarterback after the draft. So there is no one in their right mind that wants to come and coach this team, except for Mike Vrabel. And if you say no, that might set this franchise back years, if not decades. Okay? We laughed. The Jets were laughing at us and Bill Belichick for Belichick kind of desperately reaching like, hey, do you guys need a coach? And I said, that's funny. That's a good victory lap. But the Jets are a mess. If I'm the Jets, I would take Bill Belichick. I wouldn't say no. It's the same thing with the Patriots. You're really in a position to say no to a guy of Mike Vrabel's ilk that wants to coach this team? And it's an easy one to sell, man. Team legend, won a couple Super Bowls, and unlike Jerod Mayo, has coached in this league and has contacts around this league, has coached in coaching staffs that were not led by Bill Belichick. Played for him, but has coached in college. He's coached in the pros, coached a couple of different places in the pros. Even went to Elliott Wolf's old place, the Browns. And yet, you think the Patriots are in a position to say no. I just find that so ridiculous. And running it back with Jerod Mayo, I don't know how you punch out half the building next year. I really don't. You can watch Drake May on TV. There's nothing special about this team and going to Gillette, schlepping out to Foxborough, paying $50 to park, paying $10 a beer, walking half a mile to the stadium to see this. Mike Vrabel, at least you got something going. Something. We've got something going here at Rogue Media Sports Network. We're going to have Pete Souza, the Pete Souza Show, on at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, live here on YouTube. We want you to like and subscribe because that helps out the channel a lot, and it helps us get more videos to you, more content to you. So thank you for tuning into the Cam Show. Once again, it's good to be back, and we will see you tomorrow here on the Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internx.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Tusane's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.